So, you've got this amazing idea, right? Something that could really be a game changer. But how do you actually turn that spark into a real successful business? Well, that's exactly what we're going to demystify today. And the answer? It's probably more straightforward than you think.
We've all been there. That aha moment hits you. An idea for a product, a service, something you just know people need. And it's exciting. It's that feeling that you're onto something big, something that could actually make an impact. But right behind that excitement, there's usually a little voice of doubt, isn't there? The what-ifs start creeping in. And, there's a good reason for that. A ton of new businesses don't make it. And it's usually not because the idea was bad. It's because they didn't have a plan. They basically tried to sail across an ocean without a map.
And that map, that's your business plan. Now, don't get spooked by that phrase. It sounds kind of formal, I know, but all it really is a roadmap. It's a guide that you create for yourself to chart a clear path from this brilliant idea you have right now all the way to a successful company.
All right, let's jump into section 1, the ultimate business roadmap.
And look, this thing is not just some homework assignment you have to do to get a loan. It is a powerful tool for you. A solid plan does 3 absolutely critical things. First, it helps you spot the real opportunities out there in the market. Second, it lets you think through the challenges before they smack you in the face. And maybe most importantly, it's the #1 thing you need to get investors or a bank to believe in your vision and give you the funding you need.
Okay, moving on to section 2, we're going to talk about crafting your big picture with something called the executive summary.
Honestly, the best way to think about this is like your 30-second pitch, just written down. It's super simple. Step 1, what's the problem you're solving for people? Be clear about it. Step 2, how are you going to solve it in a unique way? What's your secret sauce? And step 3, show them why this is going to be a huge success. If you nail this part, I promise, anyone who reads it is going to be hooked and want to know more.
And listen, I get it. Staring at a blank page can feel impossible. But just remember this quote. Sometimes, just taking that first tiny step is all you need to get going. Don't try to write the whole thing at once. Just write the first sentence. The momentum will take over from there.
So you've got your big picture down. Now for section 3. How are you going to find your customers? Let's get into the marketing plan. At the core of any great marketing plan, you'll find what we call the 4 Ps. Think of these as 4 dials you can turn. First is product. What exactly are you selling? Next, price. What's it worth and what does that price say about your brand? Then there's place. Where will people actually find you? Is it a website, an app, a physical store? And finally, promotion. How are you going to get the word out? The real magic happens when all 4 of these are working together, in perfect sync to attract your ideal customer. All right, on to section 4. This is the nuts and bolts, the operational plan, or how you're actually going to make this whole thing work day to day.
A massive piece of this puzzle is money, specifically your costs. And really, they fall into 2 main buckets. You've got your investment costs. These are the one-time things you need to pay for just to open the doors. Think big equipment, business licenses, that kind of stuff. Then you have your operating costs. These are the bills that come every single month just to keep the lights on. Rent, salaries, fuel, marketing, you name it. You absolutely have to know both.
So let's make this real. Imagine you're starting an AC repair service. Your one-time investment costs might be somewhere around $17,000. That's a big chunk of change, sure, but that's what gets you the work van, all the professional tools, and the licenses you need to operate legally.
But that's not where it ends, right? Every month, that same business might have around $19,000 in operating costs. That's for things like renting a small workshop, paying your technicians, and keeping the van full of gas. Laying these numbers out is so important because it tells you exactly how much money you need to bring in every month just to break even. And that brings us to our final section, the big payoff, your blueprint for success. So, after all this, why does it matter so much? Because your business plan is so much more than just a document. It's your personal blueprint for success. It's the most powerful tool you have for convincing other people to invest in you. It's your guide for seeing trouble coming down the road. It's your strategy for making smart decisions. Ultimately, it's the thing that turns your dream into an actual, achievable goal.
You know, Every single great journey in history started with a map. It gives you clarity, it gives you confidence, it gives you a direction to head in. So the only question left for you is, what will your map look like?